So last week we walked you through what a perfect day of training looks like for your type. And on paper, it looks incredible. But today we're going to be talking about things that break even the best design program. Welcome back to the Ready for More podcast. Strength is for everybody. I'm Idi.
And I'm Mark.
Okay, so last week was a solo episode. This week, Mark is back, and we're going to be tackling something we both see. There are three forces that quietly kill fitness goals, especially for busy people with real lives: season and schedule. All right, Mark, let's break down season.
Talking about the season of life that people are in. And this changes. This is always changing. You have major life events, you get married, you can have kids, you can have a very busy schedule at your job, and all these things serve to derail you from the ideal course that you set for yourself.
Yeah, so your brain wants peak season progress, but your life is in survival mode. So as much as you were preparing for this particular task in your life, match the volume of your training to the volume of your life. In high stress season, training should give you energy, not drain you. So you're going to cut your volume in half. You're going to keep your intensity crisp and focused on maintenance.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think that, we've said this before, but you got to meet yourself where you're at. It's hesitate to use the word unrealistic, because if you set your mind to something, you can do it, but it's not realistic that you can be under a tremendous amount of stress or be in a period of transition and maintain everything in your life exactly the way it is. Your training plan is going to have to change a little bit, and especially if you have as great as it can be to get married or have a life event like having kids, it is a huge stressor, right? As great as it is, and it will drain your CNS. So especially if you're doing things that are very nervous system reliant, realize that in this period of transition, as you're in a different season of life, you are going to have to change things to meet that season, and you're going to have to deviate from your current course a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. So all you have to do is just cut your volume, almost half, and you just keep your intensity kind of low. So on the RP scale, keep it at anywhere from 5 to 7. That'll be good. And
I was going to say 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, 6, 7, and just focus on maintaining. We're not going anywhere, so just focus on maintaining. All right, so the second force is going to be schedule. So most people build their plan around an ideal week. So they think they're going to have no delays, no surprises, and no curveballs thrown at them. That is the trap. So the moment the flight gets pushed, a deal runs late, or a meeting pops up just out of the blue, the whole plan collapses. And that is just real life.
Yeah, it's funny. I got a little, story for you. I like having a schedule. I like having a schedule, and I like sticking to a schedule. I don't like it when it gets disrupted, when we have audibles. And one thing that my wife tells me, because she knows I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, is, Mark, be like water. And it's a phrase that works pretty well. It does work pretty well to reel me back in when I'm like, well, we're going to be late for this, and now we can't do that because this. Mark, be like water, man. Be flexible. Go with the flow. Take the shape of what you're in. And it does work. So I guess that's my advice to everybody out there. Things will happen to derail you from your perfect plan, but be flexible. And when those derailings, whatever the word is, happen, just try to focus on the most important part of your plan. You may not be able to get 100% of it in, but okay, cool, this happened. I was late getting to the gym, or this took priority. What do I have to work on? Let's prioritize the most important part of the program. Be flexible, not stress out about it, and just move forward.
Yeah, and to Mark's point, stop building a rigid schedule. Yes, there are times for you to build a rigid schedule, but for training, it is serious, but it's really not that serious. So stop building rigid schedule. Start building in contingency. So a contingency plan. If this happens, then we're going to do this. It's not going to totally derail our training or whatever we have in mind, but we have that contingency plan, so we don't feel bad about ourselves. At the end of the day, it's mainly mental. It kind of messes with our head if we have a plan and we don't see ourselves through that plan. Physically, you're going to be fine. Your body is more resilient than you actually think. So if you miss your 6 a.m. workout, you don't throw the entire day away. You could do a small mobility workout, or just do one lift. Your plan B kicks in. So a 20-minute movement snack, a kettlebell complex before your dinner. Add a non-negotiable. So low-hanging fruit, if you will. So you do this no matter what. So when you wake up in the morning, you do some stretching. Non-negotiable, easy peasy. So if you don't, for whatever reason, something happens and you cannot do your workout, you've already did that non-negotiable in the morning. If you're in the office, non-negotiable, you just do a couple, squats, 10 squats every hour. So you do that. That's non-negotiable. You could do that, So you give your schedule room to breathe. What do you think about that, Mark?
I think those are great pointers, and I just want to remind everybody that in my opinion, my professional opinion, the largest determinant factor to making progress is consistency. And I know that's like overused and kind of a cliche, but if you think about it, some days you'll be able to make big strides towards your goal, and some days things will happen and you'll make shorter strides towards your goal. But the important thing is that we're always taking steps towards it, intelligent steps. When we're not trying to force things or fit a square peg into a round hole. Maybe your CNS is not there today, your schedule's off, whatever it is. Take a step forward, whatever that is, in consistency. Maybe you won't have very high output, but you're going to do things to work towards your goal. Just remember, that's the key to moving forward, not like just having high output and meeting your numbers.
Yeah, and I don't think consistency is being used too much. I think there is something to be said for consistency. One example is when you were a kid. When you were a kid, your mom grilled into you have to brush your teeth every night. You didn't want to do it. It was just a pain in the butt. But now you've been pretty much doing that your entire life like clockwork. That's the consistency we're talking about.
I'll chime in. Okay, and I'm going to paint myself in a corner here, but you know what it is for me? I'm on social media a lot these days, and I see a lot of influencer language. So I see a lot of, you don't want it badly enough. It's about consistency, just all this language that kind of puts guilt on people. So that's my hesitation when I say consistency, because I've seen it used in a kind of a guilt coaching pattern on social media.
I get where you're coming from, but how I would put it, yes, the influencers and stuff like that, they use it in the wrong context as far as I'm concerned. What I like to do and encourage everybody to do is the low-hanging fruit, the non-negotiables. I mean, stuff that is so easy, it's literally impossible for you to feel. That is what I'm talking about. So just a 5-minute walk when you wake up, like that is literally, it's almost impossible for you to feel that. Not I have to get to the gym and do an hour workout with chest, back, some legs and whatever. That is just, that's unreasonable, because stuff will happen. You'll get injured. I mean, your kids will get sick and stuff like that. The non-negotiable 5-minute walk. Right. That is what I'm talking about. But the influencer class on, social media that are always like, you don't want it hard enough, you weak or whatever. Well, we have no time for these people.
You know what it is, Idi? What you consume kind of like informs your reality. So clearly, like I'm seeing a lot of fitness, that kind of content on my feed. So it informs my perception of the word consistency. Dude, 100%. I stand by what I say. My hesitation is just I see all this stuff and I'm like, I don't want to put the same message out there. I hesitate to use the word even though I mean it in a different way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, that's it for us this time, guys. Until next time, stay strong.
Stay strong.